Got to get the people, got to give them what they want. What's up, everybody? Buffalo and Atlanta. I am live. I got to make sure I look in that camera. I am live in the ATL studio of We Go 1570 AM, Atlanta, Georgia. What's up, everybody? It's another Friday. Listen, I'm live. I'm stressed. I'm all of that. If you have never driven in Atlanta. And I didn't been here before, but this week was power packed with a lot of stuff that I had to get from one place to another place to another place. And when I tell you stressed, stress is not the word. Mark, you said this like Philly. It's like Philly up here.
Oh yeah, that when you were describing that traffic in Atlanta, it
Yeah.
reminded me of back home, we had rules. You had to be in the city before 7 a.m. and out before 3 a.m. So I
Bruh,
totally understand.
bruh. And where I'm at, I'm north of Atlanta. So when I get out of here, I gotta get so I can get through back north. But when I say the traffic, man, and I brought Bay with me. I brought Bay, I brought the seven
Oh
speed.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now I'm trying to drive this seven speed and make sure I'm in the right gear. And I've been driving a stick shift for shucks since I
Oh
was maybe
boy.
14, 15, 16. I'm telling you, I stalled out shifting gears, which means I didn't give it enough gas. I didn't let off enough clutch,
Wait,
just panicking all over the place,
wait, you
man.
stalled out on the drive, or once you got into
I
Atlanta?
stalled. So when you stop at a light and you shift, if you don't give it enough gas and it's all these hills, Atlanta, y'all giving me a run for the money. You giving me a run for the money in ATL this week. Me and Bay here. Bay, of course, y'all know who Bay is. If you follow me on social media, listen. If you don't follow us on social media, why don't you go right now? And if you're in the house and look at Power to the People show, we are live today in Buffalo and in Atlanta. Mark is at the Buffalo station or at our podcast, and I'm
Yep.
here at We Go. I'm so proud of what Sheila Brown and her team have put together up here. I'm seeing Buffalo faces in
Oh
the
yeah.
building. Yeah, it's sweet, man. It's sweet. It's sweet to see all these Buffalo faces and to see a black woman having a station where if I'm in Atlanta, I can come to the Atlanta station. If I'm in Buffalo, we can go to Buffalo station. That's real entrepreneurship. And I just got to say, on our first live show here in Atlanta, big ups. And I think I'm in a good neighborhood because I got my top down. I left my top down. So they laughing at me. They like, yo, don't do that in Buckhead. Don't leave that top down.
Oh, that's
So,
hilarious.
hey, let's get right to it because we got a lot to cover. Bruh, last week, all these people came to Atlanta for the game. What
Listen,
happened?
Listen, well, I've been telling people the thing about it is the Bills are only going to go as far as Josh Allen take them, and
Mhm.
I know half of Buffalo was in Atlanta because even the commentators were talking that when things happened in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you could hear boos and cheers at about
Yeah.
50% level. So it was an interesting game, and I think what was interesting is even listening to NFL commentators leading into the game, everyone said Atlanta might give Buffalo fits,
Hmm.
and and they did,
He
and
did.
they
Listen, if I
blitzed
had been here,
70% of the
how
time.
all those Bills folks, I'd have been in Atlanta. I'd have had a Atlanta shirt and a Bills shirt, one under the other. And I know my shot is kind of messed up on social media. I'll adjust it during the
Yep.
commercial. I would have had both shirts on,
Yeah.
and that way, if when the Bills are winning, I'm all Bills. When Atlanta is winning, I'm all Atlanta. But what I'm glad about is I did not pay that money to come the week before.
Oh boy. Yeah, and I heard that it was a lot of struggle to get in and out of Atlanta. So, yeah.
Bro, that's always. I'm adjusting now because it's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle. So if you're not from Atlanta, you gotta be prepared for this weather. You can't come to Atlanta and think you going. So I left at I had an hour, it said 57 minutes. Now let
Yep.
me tell you this, and we'll get to the topics. So if you are using like GPS, like I have to, of course, to get around Atlanta. at the end of the day, it starts green, right? So
Yep.
I leave and it's green.
Hmm.
Then you look and that 50, it go blip, blip, and that 50 an hour, bro. And then you look
Wow.
again, it was red. That hour was an hour and 20 minutes. So
Jeez.
you just start to get used to it, and you
Oh
start to
boy.
do what you got to do to get to where you got to get you a good playlist and make it happen. So war in the Middle East, the president of the United States. Now I want to talk about this for real, and then after the commercial or somewhere around there, I don't know if you heard about this father who gets on the school bus and has his 7-year-old fight
No.
another student. Oh, bro, we're gonna
Oh,
talk about this
oh yeah.
because I want it. So get ready. I want it. Matter of fact, let me get my Facebook up because at the end of the day, I do want to know people's opinion of how you feel. He says he had no choice because the child was messing with his child, and so he had to finally take matters in his own hands. We're gonna talk about that. Got a lot of folks online. Oh shucks, here I go. Somebody's going through praying, somebody going through allergic I'm not sure what's happening. Y'all let me know
That's
in the
Janetta, yeah.
comments. Chrysler Davis says, hey, hello, Pastor, you and Bay will be all right. We all right. We spent, I mean, I spent a lot of time with Bay, 14-hour drive in Bay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
yeah,
and
we all right.
you and Bay in a good
Uh,
relationship now.
Oh yeah, we in a good relationship. We had a long some hours. Me and Bay just rolled quiet.
Yep.
Um, all right, Janetta speaking this Sunday for Spina Bifida. All right. Oh shucks, I didn't close the phone. I'm gonna lose all my folks. All right. So the president, as you know, he says he brokered a deal. Now some say
Hmm.
it wasn't really his deal to broker, but he said he brokered a deal and that he um now we got peace in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
However, this is what I said last week, and I didn't say these exact words. The devil is in the details.
Yes, it is.
Now, already, what did I say? Somebody's gonna come up to some soldier and it's gonna be shots fired.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened.
Yep.
That has happened. Then they couldn't get they haven't sent all of the hostages that were deceased back. And then they sent the wrong body or remains of somebody they thought they were sending back, and it was the wrong remains. So
Wow.
now you have people upset that that the president and others are saying the hostages are back, and they're not back. They're not all back yet. So at the end of the day, the hostages are not all back. The deceased ones, the
Yeah.
alive ones are all back.
Right.
And now Trump, he was upset he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. So we dealt with that. But now he's trying. He remembered he told Ukraine
Yep.
that he would give them missiles,
Yeah.
right? These missiles. Now he's kind of going back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday he said something to the effect of, "Well, we need the missiles ourselves." Well, he didn't say it like that. He said, "Well, we need the missiles ourselves," and that's we need the missiles ourselves. We might need the missiles ourselves. Like, bruh, with friends like that, you don't need enemies.
Sure don't.
Because
Sure
how are
don't.
you going to tell them we're going to give you the missiles? Then you're going to turn around and say, we're not going to give you the missiles.
Mm-mm.
Jen Woodard said, and get well, Jen, he's right. I'm tired of bullying. He's like, come on. If you're going to help Ukraine, help Ukraine. But you pressured Israel to make a deal. You got the Arab countries to help and to broker that deal. So they get credit too. Now let's be honest.
Right.
If the Arab countries did not support the ceasefire and had have told Hamas keep going, especially after Israel bombed one of their countries, this deal wouldn't have been there. So let's not
Absolutely.
get lost in the sauce and make it look like Donald Trump was the only one who had anything to do with the deal. That's not correct.
Well, and to that point, now he's out here and he's trying to make sure that he can just take care of it all, because now he's meeting with Putin in Budapest and trying to get Ukraine back to the table. So now you're in this like, oh, because I got one, let me get them all, and it's just and it's all a show at the end of the day.
It really is. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. It is a show. Now y'all know let's just say, let me just ask, do you think
Mm-hmm.
that Donald Trump does deserve some credit now for two things?
Okay.
Got peace in the Middle East, kinda. But here's the second thing. Memphis, they done arrested hundreds of people in Memphis. And there are people in Memphis saying we needed the help.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be fair. I know everybody, not everybody, but I'm in Atlanta right now, so everybody ain't against Trump.
Right.
I done seen more Trump signs up in this joint than
You
I've
know,
seen.
I was in West Virginia, Ohio border, so
You come through Pennsylvania, here was a sign said Pennsylvania for Trump.
Trump, the
Man,
whole state.
you got to be careful what you do in the
Yeah.
South now. So at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, do you think he deserves? Because this whole thing about National Guard, I was totally against, right?
Yeah.
But if a city desires help with their crime problem, Trump has been the first president that I know who has said, we're gonna send our federal troops to help you. We're
Yep.
gonna send, instead of just giving you more money, we're gonna help you clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he deserves any credit there?
I do. And I think any sitting president, whether Dem, Republican, Independent, I think if heavy is the head that wears the crown. So when you have to make certain decisions and it works, then you get the same credit. But when it doesn't, you deserve the same criticism. And so we have the right to criticize. We also have the right to give you credit, and I do think he deserves some credit. And we've talked about it on this show that some of his initiatives were not fully against, but it's the way you roll them out and how you harm certain people in those actions of hastily trying to do it and abruptly trying to do it. That is the problem.
Yeah. Because it is kind of innovative.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with it, several problems. I ain't gonna say the only one. Number one, National Guard are not trained law enforcement.
Right.
That's number one. So I think that's a powder keg waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two is what happens after they leave. I don't think sending in troops for a couple weeks and okay, so all the drug dealers go in the house, all the illegal violent offenders that they're saying is in this country, they go in the house that week.
Right.
All of the red light district people go in the house. Everybody in the house. Everybody in the house. Everybody. You ain't buying no weed. You ain't buying no coke. You ain't getting no fentanyl. You ain't getting nothing, bro.
Ain't nothing moving.
You getting nothing. You getting nothing. But like DC, where he said, I can walk on the streets now, and I don't have to be worried. Okay, so what happens after you leave?
Right.
You still they can't stay there forever.
Sure can.
And Lord, please no natural disaster where you got to pull these troops. Because guess what's gonna happen? Bubba and them is coming back outside.
Absolutely. And they don't care if it's winter, spring. They got to make some money.
Quinita coming back out to that corner, bro. Quinita coming back out with a fur coat on, a rabbit. All right, she coming out in that rabbit coat. I don't care what you say. So I get it for the short term if there was a problem,
right?
And it is a problem. I'm giving them for the first time ever. I'm saying if he worked with the local authorities,
right,
then that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Caulfield says, I think a lot of things he does is for credit, but mostly for harm. Welcome to the show. Who just came on? Mary Price and all you who are on Roberson. Hey, what's up? What's up? Veronica Bell, he's double-minded and unstable in all his ways. Hey, she preaching. Veronica went to a word. She went to a word. Speaking of, so I think, and we're going to pay some bills in a second, but you got to give the man something for the Middle East.
Yeah,
you got
absolutely.
You have to give him something for being concerned about crime, even if we don't agree in how he's handling the crime.
Completely agree.
Because let's be honest, now we can talk for a mountain of time. I'm out by Stone Mountain, so now I'm talking. Mark, you know how you go down south and you hear Southern twang long enough, you get one.
Now you fitting and fixing it and everything.
Now now I'm gonna get me a little Southern twang or something like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Marie Collins on Facebook says not buying weed. I'm hollering. Y'all know I'm just talk. So I think you gotta give him a little credit.
I agree. I do agree. I do agree. Like I said, if he gets the credit, he also should get the criticism. So it's a two-way street. And I think, and that's all elected officials. It's all people in leadership. If you decide to be the big guy on campus, then you get both sides of the stone. And that's just the way it's been since the beginning of time.
Kimberly on Facebook says Trump has been all over the place since he stepped back in office. He should be tired because I'm so tired.
We just tired of everybody. Everybody tired of everybody.
Listen. Well, and so are the folks who doing the No Kings protest. Kings protest. I don't know if now I was surprised when it was in Buffalo because they ain't let our side of the street know.
No, they didn't.
They ain't let our side. So I'm not sure if they doing it in Buffalo or not. But they definitely doing it in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, and 5 other locations here in Atlanta area. You can go to the No Kings protest. They got signs. I saw some signs already on the news this morning with Dr. King's face, and that one is circled, and then the other guy's face, and it's X'd out. So go to I don't even know what time it starts, but you can find it out local news here in Atlanta. No Kings protest. Now let me tell you who ain't going to No Kings protest. My dark. Yeah, well, I'm a little dark now. That Atlanta sun.
Boy.
My behind ain't going to No Kings because I don't know what's gonna kick off.
Well, and
right, bro. We talk. We don't know what's gonna kick off.
And I was getting ready to say, and especially after I don't know if you heard Speaker Mike Johnson's comments about. He didn't even refer to it as the No Kings protest. He referred to it as an anti-American, anti-this, anti-that. They don't want that. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I'm good.
So now you pumping up all these people, all these law enforcement people to believe that they don't want this. Let me tell you, it's going to look like King down there. You better be careful. But I support it.
Absolutely.
Only reason I'm going because of traffic. You would have to go if the Kings protest started at 10. I got to get up. You got to leave about 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I can't.
Let's go pay some bills. We'll be right back.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
All right, I'll try to wrap up this on this guy, but I didn't know Memphis had such a problem with crime. I really didn't. So it's amazing that so many people in Memphis have actually said something to the effect of we needed it. So I you think of Memphis, all I think about is like ribs and stuff. I know when you see the YouTube videos now of the crime in downtown, I'm like, maybe they did need help.
I mean, and I think, and that's the thing, because they'll say all urban centers and are high crime. And I actually, New York City had their mayoral debate yesterday and last night. And Andrew Cuomo said one thing and about the National Guard coming to Democratic-led cities, which I kind of agree with. It's not even so much about the safety; it's about the control and the power. Because now you're basically telling Democratic-led areas, you don't know what you're doing. I am coming in to do that. And I kind of agree with that point. But again, if the city is saying, the local officials are saying, hey, no, come in because we need this help, I think that is completely different.
Yeah, I agree. And that's where I think that where I think our president, what the president goes wrong, because he does not consult with that local government and just comes in, and now you just got chaos and
Right.
you have so much division. And he's talking about this Nobel Peace Prize. At the end of the day, you make more wars sometimes locally, in
Right.
the states than you do peace. So I don't get it. They just indicted Bolton.
Bolton, yeah.
Bruh, this man got a list of. This is like, and I got to be careful so we don't get knocked off social media. This like MAFIA. I probably could say that on social media without us getting bumped off. I don't know.
Oh.
I ain't taking no chances. I don't want to get bumped off.
I did.
So at the end of the
I
day,
did like, okay.
you had to spell it
Yeah.
MAF.
I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you just sitting back like, okay, we're gonna go after Tish James. We're gonna go after Bolton. We're gonna go after Comey. So he
Yeah.
got his hit list, man. This is
And they
Go
were
ahead.
talking about it on CNN this morning. What was interesting is they actually said out of all of the hit lists, even Comey's indictment, Bolton probably has the most criminal charges in it and evidence. So this one I think is going to be a little bit more interesting because he's got 18 charges, and I guess they actually have more criminal evidence again in this trial than some of the other ones.
Well,
So we'll see what happens.
Allegedly, he was writing his wife and his
Yes.
daughter about secrets and
Sent
what
them
is
files
like
and
in a
everything.
diary form. Who does that
Sent
on
them
AOL?
them files
Not
and
even on
everything.
Gmail. Not even. He could do that on WhatsApp. That's encrypted.
He got them.
Do
You
it
got
on
mail.
WhatsApp. You doing it on AOL that still has a phone line connection if you want it, and
Yeah.
I know that because I still use
got the you got
AOL.
mail. Still got
I
you
go
got
in,
mail.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I do have a Gmail. Never look at it.
You
I
never
use
do.
AOL. Do you know how embarrassing that is when you go into the store and the 20-year-old is across the counter and they go, what's your, and you go blah 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 blah
At
AOL,
AOL,
and they
huh?
look at you like, what's AOL? What's AOL? Shut up, youngin. Just be quiet, youngin. Be quiet. AOL is still it. I don't care what nobody says. Does not have the capabilities of a Gmail, but he was. Now that wasn't that long ago. That allegedly, let me say allegedly,
Yeah.
and let me say this because I'm out here. We go, the opinions on this show are only ours. It's not
Only ours.
my sponsors nor of the radio station, but allegedly, he's sending. Now, how you gonna have national security, and you allegedly sending it to your wife and your daughter? Can you imagine him and this is parody, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you imagine him typing like, yeah, we getting ready to bomb in about 5 minutes. What's for dinner, baby?
Hey, make sure you will have me a plate warmed up as soon as I get out the situation room.
Make sure that plate warm. I'll be home later. But by the way, I ran such a, well, I do.
Yeah,
if that's true now,
and
you're
then,
wrong for that.
And then some of the charges that they're alleging are retention of secure documents. And again, it's kind of true because he wrote a book after he left. So he must have had to retain something to write the book. So like I said,
He wrote a book.
Yeah, we'll see what
now,
happens after this one.
I wonder, do they have to pay for their own lawyer?
Probably.
Because that could take a big chunk.
Probably.
That takes a big chunk of that book money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Beverly on Facebook says, "Hey sir, I believe God put Trump in the White House for a reason. I don't know what it is yet, but I truly believe that. Oh,
I agree
I believe it.
wholeheartedly.
I believe. Somebody was on here talking about we have to come together. Oh, it's right here, Sherry Thomas. Let's look at the big picture. Here we all have to stick together. If we don't stick together, it's not going to work. They're trying to send us back to the 60s. We can't
It's not
try
even the
it,
60s. It's not the
try it.
60s. It's older than that. It's
I,
older than
I
that.
I agree with who said that. I agree with Sherry. Sherry, I totally agree. They are trying to set us back, and that is why we have to stick together, and that is why I keep telling everybody use these social media platforms to advance good, to advance right information, to advance power, to advance because knowledge is power. So use these platforms to move our cause. I know tomorrow. Now he didn't
Yes.
arrive at the
Yep.
studio.
Yep. We
Okay,
can go to
I
that
know
right now.
tomorrow, and somebody just put on there Kenny Simmons in the Buffalo area is doing something with men, and we're gonna get Kenny on,
Yep.
Pastor Kenny Simmons.
He's on right now.
Hey, bro, how are you?
How you doing this morning? Good to see you. Well, afternoon. Good to see you this afternoon.
Tell me what you're doing. It's coming up tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we're going to assemble, God willing, 1,000 men in the city of Buffalo. And it's distinctly for men of color, and not, being, racist or anything like that. We don't have any issues with our white brothers or Asian brothers or Bangladeshi brothers. It's just time for us to come together as black men in our community, step up and stand up to rebuild, restore, renew, and redevelop what we have going on in our own community. And it all evolved from a meeting that I called with the brethren about almost 3 weeks ago, and God had been putting on my heart, and actually Bishop Morton prophesied that this was going to happen. I didn't know what he was talking about, but he knew what he was talking about. And a couple other Pastor Ted Howard spoke in the prophetic, and I was like Jonah. I didn't want to do it. I was tired of the hypocrisy, the naysayers going to meeting after meeting. I said, you know what, I'm not going to Nineveh. I'm going to stay home and take care of me and my. In fact, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And the Lord wouldn't let me sleep. And I said, well, God, I'm tired of, the people. He said, well, just like Ezekiel, don't worry about their faces. I got you. So I called the meeting, and I was at my church. My wife and myself, we made some some vittles for the brothers if they was gonna show up. And I didn't hear any feet upstairs, so when I go upstairs from the back, my sanctuary was packed. Now, it's not a super large sanctuary, but it's got some significant size to it. And it was like standing room only, and about 100 men standing there. I said, wow. I was like Matthew Broderick on the movie Glory. I was like, glory, hallelujah. And we began to talk. And so what I did, Bishop, I did a SWOT analysis on us as African-American men here in the community. We looked at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I told them, when you look at our strengths and opportunities, you're going to see some of the same words. In our weakness and threats, you're going to see some of the same words. But afterward, you're going to notice something. And what they noticed was that our strengths and opportunities outweighed our weaknesses and our threats. And everybody came to a realization that everything we need, was in that room, right? And so I also pointed out that our opportunity and our threats made it possible. For our weaknesses and our threats, it made it possible for us to have opportunities and strengths. So out of that, we began a dialogue on what is needed. So we developed 3 committees: an economic committee, political policy and procedure committee, and a neighborhood revitalization committee. One of my best friends, JJ Buckmiller, he owns Salud Market. He owns Salud Market down on Delavan. Him and Pastor Hal Ware and Tim Love are going to head up this committee, this economic committee. And what we're going to do is teach brothers how to obtain LLCs or DBAs. We're going to show them what actual equity is. We're going to teach them how to write business plans. We are going to show them the difference between personal credit and business credit, and how to leverage both to raise your credit, things of that nature, And we are going to, every Saturday, we're going to pick 2 or 3 black businesses in the community, and we're going to ask everybody to go spend $10, with those particular businesses on that Saturday, just a minimum of $10. And so, and our ultimate goal, what we are chasing, is a Black Wall Street here in the city of Buffalo, looking to buy buy, some property or even a strip mall and begin to develop, a Black Wall Street here in the city of Buffalo, to
Well,
provide
let me say this. I think that what you're doing, and I want to make sure we tell them where to be, and then I got a question for you. Where they to be tomorrow? This is not a part of the No Kings. This is totally
Absolutely not.
different. So
Absolutely
tell
not.
them where to be and what time.
12 o'clock tomorrow at the Martin Luther King head. We're calling
All
for
right.
1,000 men. I've been getting a lot of good responses, and so we just developed some committees: political policy committee, where we're going to teach and train people policy and procedure, and then our neighborhood revitalization committee. And so we have been really talking. We've been meeting. The men are excited, and the women are also included. My wife, First Lady Jamel, and my big sister in the ministry, Pastor Marquita Whitehead, they'll be across the street praying for the men while we come together. And so
Oh, that's cool.
we're gonna have representation for our Black Sunnis. We're going to have representation for our Hebrew Israelite brothers, our brothers from the Nation of Gods and Earth, Minister Jason Muhammad for the Nation of Islam, and myself. We represent the Christian believers. And we're going to break down religious barriers. We're going to break down political barriers. We're going to break down every barrier that can stop us from, being unified as Black men in the community. And it's going to be a sight to see. First thing we're going to do, Bishop, is repent.
Hold on. I got some questions. I got you. I got you. So, because I only got about three more minutes I can spend on the segment.
Right.
So the men are to gather at that time,
Yes.
and some women are going to be across the street. Are the women inviting other women to come across the street?
Absolutely. They are inviting women. When the man come, bring your wife, bring your daughters, bring your granddaughters.
And I love what you're talking about the businesses. And I saw on the news last night about 43 North, where you get $1 million startup. 5 companies, I think, get $1 million. Most of the time, it's none of us. There was one brother up there, but when I say none of us, no African Americans from the Buffalo area, like in large.
Nope.
And so I encourage and I'm supporting you 100%. If I get back on time, I would be back on time. And by the way, Tribeto, don't think that you might not see me in the morning because I'm on live here because planes run from here. But at the end of the day, to encourage men to come together, and Black men, I think, needs no apology. Because somebody said the other day, we Black people protest other folks, but when do we get ourselves together and look ourselves in the mirror? And that's what you're doing, and
That's right.
that's what the other
That's
men
right.
who are doing, and that needs
right.
never an apology.
That's right.
Because here in Atlanta, I'm sitting in a station owned by a Black woman, and of course, you sitting in a city on a station owned by a Black woman. This isn't out of spec in this area for Black folks to run things, for Black folks to have the restaurants, for them to have, real big businesses. And so I think by you doing that, I think it's a very important piece.
That's very important. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to brothers uniting. We're looking for brothers. I'm going to encourage each brother to go shake 10 hands of 10 brothers you don't know. Introduce yourself. Bring your business cards. I want them to see the beauty, of brotherhood. I want them to see the beauty. I want them to actually see Psalms 133 live in effect. Because I believe that it's going to be a paradigm shift, and I believe God's word, and I believe what he says, where he's going to command a blessing to descend upon us that day. And I believe that we're going to be able to begin to hold ourselves accountable. We're going to be able to talk this unity in our families. It's not something fly by night. We meet every third Saturday at the church, and we're going to be big. So, Bishop, we probably going to be asking to use Swan Street or something because it's standing room only. And so this is going to be a monthly thing that we do at the church, but we're going to make this annual starting this year. And then at the church, we'll meet once a month, and it's not going to be a talk meeting. We're going to bring people to give us information on prostate cancer, colon cancer, high blood pressure, things that we need to focus on: stress, depression, anxiety. But the committees will bring their report every third Saturday to how many people we educated, what we're doing politically, and how many block clubs we re-galvanized and we got started.
So let me encourage you before we go to another break. When I first started out here in doing community work, I thought that everybody would be with me. I thought we're doing the right thing. It was myself, Janice, and Rashid Wyatt. and started concerned citizens against violence. And we thought, oh, everybody, I mean, it's for a good cause. And there will always be naysayers. And do not concentrate on the naysayers, because usually they're sitting somewhere criticizing what is happening and not participating.
Yep.
Keep your focus, brother. We're very proud of you. The amount of people who are talking on Facebook right now, excellent. My God, excellent. Preach, pastors, take back our history. Kamal says a lot of things scheduled for tomorrow. So, get involved in something and let's make it happen, bro.
We appreciate you, Bishop. Thanks a lot for all your support, man. Thanks for having me
All
on the
right.
show.
We're going to pay the bills. When we come back, I'm going to ask the question. A father gets on a school bus. I think the child was 7 or 8 years old. He gets on the bus and he tells his daughter to beat up a girl who he says hit his daughter. I want to know your opinions. Start giving me your opinions right there on social media. I want to know, is the father right? Is the father wrong? How do you feel the father should have handled the situation? We'll be right back.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo: 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
Thank you to our sponsors, Brian K. Lewis, and to Hobson's, the Doctor of Dry Cleaning. Listen, I'm literally sitting in the Atlanta studio. We go 1570 AM. If you're in the Atlanta area and you have a business and you'd like to advertise on this hour, please let us know. You can call the station. I promise you, they'll take good care of you. We have the best salespeople in the industry. You can either call the Buffalo office or you can call right here to the all-new legendary We Go 1570 AM here in Hotlanta, right here, right now. All right, listen. The father who boarded a bus and encouraged his daughter to fight was Maurice Fox, a 36-year-old man from Ferguson, Missouri. Authorities say Fox forced his way onto a Ferguson school district bus and directed, let me take that back, his 6-year-old daughter to repeatedly punch a 7-year-old while telling her, do what I told you to do, and later urging, I want her crying. After the girl hits the other girl, the 7-year-old girl, he says to her, I want her crying. He allegedly pushed past the driver during the confrontation. Fox now faces felony harassment, trespassing, and multiple assault charges in St. Louis County. A warrant has been issued for his arrest as of mid-October 2025, and police say he has avoided turning himself in. He later posted online claiming the incident stemmed from his daughter being bullied and that he had, quote, no other choice but to defend her, though investigators have strongly condemned his actions. That's crazy to me. Go ahead. You had a breath. Now you had a breath. So I know some of the younger parents out there are going to be totally against my stance on this. Okay, let's put ourselves in the father's shoes. His 6-year-old daughter allegedly is being bullied by a 7-year-old. And according to him, the 7-year-old has put hands on his daughter. Why did you pause? That's what I want to know, sir.
I pause because I know for the way I grew up, I grew up by my grandmother saying, hey, if you lose a fight, the worst whooping is going to be when you get home. So it was learning to defend yourself and not just, I was taught not to accept what a bully does. And if Now the age is different because now you got kids pulling out weapons, knives, and guns.
Right.
But my grandmother taught us, like, if you get beat up today, you grab something and you go back and handle your business tomorrow. I think
Do you feel that way now? Your dad. Do you feel the same way?
yes. I don't want
Okay.
my kids to just keep getting bullied. And I will say, I will try to go all of the diplomatic ways. I'll let the school know, let the bus driver know. If all of those options fail, then I got to talk to my kid, and you're gonna have to handle this yourself. So I don't, because again, I don't want my kids running at the sign of trouble, or because somebody is threatening you, now you just going to run, and then now we got to move schools, and then eventually you're going to run out of schools. So at some point you got to handle it, and that's sometimes the problem when you try to go the diplomatic route. The parents, or you're meeting with principals and teachers and this, that, and the other, and they're like, oh, well, what do you want us to do? And then it's like, okay, well, now you're putting it in my court, and I'm going to tell my kids how to properly handle it. But if you get pushed and hands get placed on you, these things work.
So we're definitely different on this point. Keely Gaskin on Facebook says the father was wrong. Instead of fighting, he should have made her apologize. I think maybe you don't understand, Keely. The father, she shouldn't apologize. She shouldn't. The other girl should have apologized. I get what you're saying, Mark. In this instance, an adult inserted himself in the face of another child. That child has a father too.
Yeah, now that part is wrong.
You getting on the bus,
yeah,
right? You getting on the bus, you going past the bus aid, wrong.
That's wrong.
I'm sorry, everybody get mad at me, but his butt should be in jail. You put other kids' lives in danger for a 6 and a 7-year-old incident. Now you've taught this child, I'm going to step in. I'm going to step in. He didn't teach the child, you go and fight her. He got on.
Yeah.
And then after she hit the girl, he said, I want her crying.
Yeah.
I don't see anything good that's going to come out of that, except that girl's father is going to be sitting his butt in jail somewhere. So you did all of that to now have to spend money for a lawyer, to now have your daughter being more of a target. You got to think about this. I'm sure that girl got family. They're not going to just let this go. If that girl got half of a daddy, he going to show up now in this drama where he never said that he took the diplomatic approach.
Right.
He should have went to the school. He should have never got on that school bus with those kids.
Yeah, and I guess doing too much over here. I missed that part of the story where he got on the bus and incited the actual fight. No, it should be, I'm gonna teach my child to defend yourself. So if you put your hands on you again, then this is what the consequences again after diplomatic approaches. And I do think, if the part of the approaches should be the school, the bus, somebody in authority should have brought both families together and be like, hey, we got this report, we got to settle this, that, and the other. So I do feel that part is wrong. Kibi on TikTok said maybe he shouldn't have come on the bus, but I understand him doing what he did. And so I do think it's tough.
I think we have become so violent that we feel that violence is the way, and we pass that on from generation to generation to generation. And I'm just going to say it. I don't care. I'm 60. I'll be 61. Yeah. When am I going to be 61? I'm
next Thursday.
Coming up.
Next
I'll be
Thursday.
61, so I'm going to say it.
And you're going to be 61. We're going to hear he's 61 all year.
All year. We know how to fight with these fists. Yeah. We know how to knock people out. We know how to do all that. And at the end of the day, we ain't owning the biggest businesses. We're not articulating. We're not being hired at the highest levels because of this, because of anger, because of I'll quit and I'll do this and I'll crash out and I'll do that. It's not cute anymore. And times are changing. And if I believe if we don't teach students or people, period, of how to articulate, how to talk, how to problem solve, and we go to this let's fight, what do we have? Let's be honest. Now, Sheila and I keep bringing up Sheila because I'm so proud of her. And I won't do this every time I come to Atlanta, but she deserves it. Sheila and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
I ain't see Sheila out there fighting. You ain't seen me. I did have a fight, but the point is that wasn't what we were known for.
Right.
Be honest. The people out there that are known for just crashing out, fighting all the time, where are they usually in life? Be very honest. Nobody wants to work with a person who you can't figure out and who they can't figure out themselves, and their first emotion is anger.
Right.
We got to get rid of this. Like, this is not taking our people anywhere.
No, and you're right. And you're right. And I can't remember any of our brawlers and that I went to school with that are your Fortune 500 CEOs. But it is a struggle. And like I said, I do think, as you taught, and that there is a right time for anger. And it shouldn't be immediate, right? But I think at some point when, and honestly, I don't know if anybody knows how to handle that situation when it's a 6-year-old of, hey, somebody put your hands on you, you do this. Like, because that's, like, my kids are now in high school. I didn't have that conversation with them when they were 6 and 7 because I'm like, what are you even fighting over? Like a toy? Like, what? You took my pillow.
Teach them. That's the time to teach them to do better.
Yeah.
6 and 7 years old. So to me, something is going on with him too.
Yeah.
Because obviously, just like you just talked about, Mark, about how your grandmother told you. So I came up, my parents told me the exact opposite, right? So my dad says, I don't want you fighting. Now, my dad has a temper. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, he didn't want me to have, and I thank God for this. Yeah. He didn't want me to have the same temper that he had. And I'm glad of that he wanted me to work it through. Now, did I fight? Yes. I had 2 fights, 2 whole fights. But my daughter was in charter school. She comes home one day and says a boy put his hand on her behind. Put his hand on her behind. I looked at my daughter. I said, "And you're not suspended?" So I did. That was my exact words to her. So you're not suspended. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in trouble if somebody touches a private part of yours that they're not supposed to. You will not be in trouble." And then I put her in karate. Yeah. And I put her in karate so that she would learn how to defend herself if and when necessary.
Absolutely.
I am a licensed gun carrier. Thank God for that.
Me too.
And we both are, right?
Yep.
And at the end of the day, that is for my protection. But I shouldn't be pulling it out, waving it around on the street. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I got a gun. No. But if I need to defend me or others, because I've been teaching this about righteous anger.
Right.
Righteous anger seeks to bring things together. Righteous anger seeks progress and not regress. Righteous anger brings justice. But this anger that we have in so many of our neighborhoods, right here in Atlanta, we have a murder almost a week. Or we just had here in Atlanta a father and mother charge for suspicion of killing their 5 or 6 month old child, and then putting them out in the yard, not in their yard, but in the court, and they just found the baby, and now there's this memorial. There's something that we as a people have got to wrap our minds around and stop this going right to it. This was criminal to me. It was unfortunate, and to me, he should be in jail.
And I think to your point, because what my grandmother taught me about, not losing a fight, this, that, and the other, the biggest point was never to start one. But she said, you better end it. and because I was the child with the temper, so I would swing first and then figure out why am I even fighting. So it was how to rein that in.
Yeah.
And that's why she said do that, but you shouldn't be the one to swing first. So it was all about at least defending myself, not that being the initial reaction, because now I take some of those lessons and now I can laugh it off because one, I know what's behind the backside of my brain, and when Jesus saved me, he saved a lot of other people's lives because I know what path I was on. And so now you have to sometimes just laugh it off because you legit know, like, oh, if you want to wake that up, that's not going to be good for you. But I know what's in me. And like you said, it's not the initial reaction. And that's that's the part we got to get to.
Lisa on Facebook says, let's be clear. No one wants their child to be bullied. However, in this particular situation, that father was wrong. He should have went to the school and asked the principal if he could meet with the child. I agree. Veronica says, dangerous attitudes. Janetta said, we are a crash out generation. Your sermon series was awesome, Bishop. Thank you. Madeline Scott says, somewhere in all this, I see crashing out of anger. Marie says, if anyone just treat folks with common courtesy, the world would be better. It would be. I totally agree. Finally, Lisa says, and what is the ending outcome of all this? That father is going to jail, the other father waiting to fight him. They make the girls fight. I agree. It's just this cycle,
a never-ending cycle
of violence that we have to confront in our community and teach our children how to articulate, use the system. If the system doesn't work and their life is in danger, or they're being you got to say essayed, they're being essayed, then I get it. You got to do what you have to do. That's different than what he did and what I think a lot of parents teach. And at the end of the day, we got to be careful, because if a child can fight well enough and you knock somebody out and they hit the concrete and they die or they're disabled, your entire life changes.
Yeah.
Because nobody told you to talk. Nobody told you to figure it out. And that's the bad part about it. So I think the other father gonna be waiting for him. I think that's how it's gonna go down.
What city was this in?
I got so many screens I got to look at. Here we go. It was in Missouri. I didn't know it was a whole lot of us's in Missouri.
Well, it depends. You got St. Louis, you got Kansas City. So there's some urban areas in Missouri.
I had no idea. Let me do this, and then I got some questions for you. Tennessee lawmaker seeks permanent federal presence in Memphis. Isn't that something?
Wow.
After Trump crime order. That just came on the wire.
Wow.
Let me get back over to the Zoom. So I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna give you one or the other.
Oh.
Let me just ask.
Okay.
Obviously somebody is calling me who does not realize I'm on the air. You can't be a friend.
No.
You can't be a member.
And hopefully the front desk didn't put them back.
I think they did not realize it. Anyway, no, this is a direct call. Favorite restaurant, Southern restaurant. No, let me ask you like this.
Oh.
IHOP or Waffle House?
Waffle House all day.
Waffle House for the win, baby.
Waffle House. What? That's not even
the dirtier the better. If it's too
Absolutely.
clean, it ain't good. It ain't good.
I need my
some eggs on the floor that dropped because the waitress was so busy. Now I went in Waffle House the other day, bro. Let me tell you, the girl had on a baggy hoodie, and okay, maybe the worker. She had on a bonnet. This is the truth. She had. If I was a snitch, I would have took a picture.
Not the bonnet.
She had on a bonnet, but I ain't finished. I'm not finished.
Oh, okay.
I see a bag across from me of seafood boil. Bruh, how about her and another girl sat down and told the cook, you can do your floor now. We about to have our lunch. And they sat in Waffle House and ate a seafood. And I can't stand the seafood boil when they be cracking those crab legs with a bonnet on. But I'm going to say this. Waffle House.
I bet that food was amazing, too.
The dirtier, the better. I'm a Waffle House fan. All
Yeah,
right. How about this?
I need
Popeyes or
sticky
Bojangles?
floors and everything else. Yeah. Hey, Waffle House. What'd you say?
Popeye,
What was the question?
Popeyes or Bojangles?
Oh. Oh, that's a
You're
tough
taking a
one.
long time. You down. Just
Let me
pick one.
get if I'm jeez.
Mark,
That's
you know
tough.
we only got 3 minutes.
Bojangles.
Bojangles?
Yeah.
Bojangles for the win.
Yeah.
That's 2 and 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why Bojangles for the win. The
Okay.
biscuit.
I was getting ready to say the honey. That's what was the final straw for me. I had to think through it. Yeah.
The biscuits.
The biscuit. Definitely.
Okay. Now this ain't a Southern thing. This is not because I don't think you know Sonny's. Do you? You know Sonny's?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, Sonny's does ribs and all that, so I ain't gonna put you.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna bring you back home.
Okay.
McDonald's or Burger King?
Burger King burgers, McDonald's fries.
Bro, we on the. I mean, I'm a big back too. I mean, you going to skinny back now?
Yeah.
I'm a big back.
Yeah, I'm on my way to skinny. I'm trying to stay skinny.
I'm on the big back side, so I'm trying to stay away from all of those places at the end of the day. Okay, this is Buffalo. Because
Okay.
I could give you some Atlanta. If it was Atlanta, I would ask you Publix or Kroger. I don't know if you know either one of those.
Publix.
Publix for the win.
Yeah.
Publix for the win. Publix for the win. But let's go Buffalo. That's Atlanta. Buffalo. Tops or Wegmans? Oh,
Wegmans,
boy,
but Tops chicken.
So you said Tops chicken. Tops for the prices for me. Wegmans when I want something little eccentric.
Yeah. Wegmans has a better assortment of products. So yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna get ready to get off. Here, go ahead. You got one? You can throw one. Go ahead.
Well.
While Mark is thinking, don't forget in Buffalo tomorrow, Kenny Simmons is gathering 1,000, trying to get 1,000 black men. If you're listening or you know somebody, help them out. 12 noon at the bus, and also here in Atlanta, there is the Kings. No Kings protest
all over the country.
Next week,
so wherever you're listening,
has Expo coming up. So make sure you'll hear about it on this station. Keep locked into 1570 AM. Big stuff coming up here on next week here in Atlanta. Go ahead with it.
I was getting ready to say, so Atlanta audience, knows Buffalo is the they should know Buffalo is the birthplace of the wing. So we'll start with the marketed ones. Duff's or Anchor Bar?
I think Anchor Bar because it's just historic. But I would take Brother Young's any day and his mambo sauce.
Yeah.
But Duff's I say Anchor Bar.
I actually like Duff's better.
Okay. So we what you got? I got a Buffalonian in here right now. You going with Anchor Bar?
I'm going with Anchor Bar.
He going with Anchor Bar. All right. What else? Give me a steak place or a sub place.
A sub. Ooh.
Okay. Jim's or Subway? What you say?
I'm going with Jim's.
He going with Jim's.
I will go with
Look who in the studio. I want everybody to see. That's Buffalo.
I was getting ready to say I will go with Jim's only because I like the steak and sausage. But at the end of the day, I will get that from Shy's or even the Hoagie Stop before I go to either one of those. So.
All right. We'll give you that. You coming on after me? Oh, I thought she was coming. You coming on? Buffalo coming on. Y'all got to keep it locked in here. If you're in Buffalo area and you want to listen to the WeGo station, you can go right online to WeGo 1570 AM, and you can see another one of Sheila Brown's stations. And guess who on it? Mark and Darius. Power to the people.
Power to the people everywhere.
And I mean, when I say this place is nice, I left my vet outside with the top down.
Listen,
Mark, I really thought it was a good neighborhood. If I get back in, my wallet ain't in the glove box. I'm in trouble. Listen, I got 30 seconds. Listen, thank you to Hobson's Dr. Dry Cleaning. Want to thank Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home in your hour of need. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home. We're looking for those sponsors right out here in hot Atlanta, and we'll give you the same kind of press as we give those in the Buffalo area. Listen, stay safe, and until we meet again, power to the people.